All of these big dick deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is, TG Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way. The truth is the light.
I need to have another one of these.
Amen, amen.
Shit. I kind of get one here.
Right.
After that, I don't really kind of know where to go. Let me, one more time.
Right.
We good now?
Because the people want to know, well, why would he get blackballed?
Yeah,
oh,
because
in 30 years, I've done nothing but collect information, knowledge, and your secrets. So if you and a man was in a corner doing something you wasn't supposed to be doing,
you will tell it.
No, somebody come to tell me.
Hey, I'm Hallie, and tonight we are learning in just the last few minutes that a federal judge is now refusing to grant Sean Diddy Combs bail. Instead, he's going straight to jail tonight after Diddy pleaded not guilty to charges of sex trafficking and racketeering. Want to show you some of these brand new court sketches coming into us, like literally in the last 90 seconds. This is Combs in court after prosecutors arrested him at a hotel in Manhattan. It's where he's apparently been living for weeks, according to what a person familiar with the move tells NBC News. All of it a tipping point now in that sprawling federal investigation into the superstar's alleged years of sex crimes dating back to 2009. As we're just getting in some new and deeply disturbing details about the allegations against him and what looks like a massive criminal operation, allegedly. At least 50 victims and witnesses so far. And at the center of it, these hours and days-long sex acts known as, in their words, freak-offs that Combs supposedly orchestrated to abuse his victims.
Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution. The indictment alleges that between at least 2008 and the present, Combs abused, threatened, and coerced victims to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. As alleged in the indictment, to carry out this conduct, Sean Combs led and participated in a racketeering conspiracy that used the business empire he controlled to carry out criminal activity, including sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and the obstruction of justice. Let me say a little bit more about the charges. The indictment alleges that Combs abused and exploited women and other people for years, and in a variety of ways. As alleged, Combs used force, threats of force, and coercion to cause victims to engage in extended sexual performances with male commercial sex workers, some of whom he transported or caused to be transported over state lines.
I gather that, I value that, I'll pay for that. Come, tell me. I know so many things I shouldn't know, and they all know it. They all know it. Why? Because you don't make me the villain. Not the guy that raises black children and ain't never done a hard drug in his life and don't have no stories of doing nobody dirty. And they'll just go out and they'll lie. The industry doesn't mess with Katt because he didn't show up for the studio. No studios have ever said that. Look at my IMDb. It will show you that no studio has ever lost money with me on the script. How? That's why I'm saying, that's why I can't let Ricky Smiley say he was supposed to play Money Mike, because I wrote the words for Money Mike. I designed the hair for Money Mike. I collaborated with the wardrobe department and made outfits to make sure that no one in America would be wearing what Money Mike was wearing. I told them to go get the Prowler. I then told them to paint it purple. I told them don't have an actor playing a pimp.
Katt Williams has never been shy about speaking his mind. And over the years, he's dropped some bombshells about the dark side of the entertainment industry, especially when it comes to Diddy. From wild parties to allegations of secret dealings, Williams has hinted at the kind of behavior that's often whispered about but rarely confronted in public. Now, with recent controversies and revelations emerging around Diddy, it's starting to seem like Katt was onto something all along. Were those once dismissed rants actually warnings? Let's dive into the shady world Katt tried to expose.
I harbor any resentment to any of these entities because I can't be jealous. I've never seen them have anything that I ever wanted. If you sign up for their program, you get a light-skinned, weird-faced wife that never do an interview.
Oh, man, come on.
Listen, in 20 years, won't do an interview. Nobody's ever talked to her, and she's never been interviewed anywhere. And now, understand, I'm not talking about one person. What I just told you applies to 7 people. How they all end up with that. That's part of what you get. I came in this business saying I was going to expose. When I talked about Michael Jackson, when I talked about R. Kelly, they canceled me for these things because why would you talk about another black dude? Race is not where the line is drawn. It's God's side and the other side. And we don't care nothing about the other side, period.
Combs allegedly planned and controlled the sex performances, which he called freak-offs, and he often electronically recorded them. The freak-offs sometimes lasted days at a time, involved multiple commercial sex workers, and often involved a variety of narcotics, such as ketamine, ecstasy, and GHB, which Combs distributed to the victims to keep them obedient and compliant. As alleged, when Combs didn't get his way, he was violent, and he subjected victims to physical, emotional, and verbal abuse so that they would participate in the freak-offs, and that Combs hit, kicked, threw objects at, and dragged victims, at times by their hair. On one occasion in March of 2016, that conduct was captured on video and later reported in the media. Specifically, Combs kicked, dragged, and threw a vase at a victim in a Los Angeles hotel when the victim was attempting to flee.
We want to thank you. Come in. Don't sit on the bed at night. No homo. No, just don't get close to the bed. Don't get close. But it's just like, yo, we want to thank you for hosting the thing, man. It's been a pleasure. You didn't have to do it, and you did.
No. I definitely didn't have to do it. I definitely didn't have to. First and foremost, I'm not getting in the bed. Shout out to him and what he did. I'm just gonna, if we can, let's just put the camera a little this way, just so we're not. I don't want my shot to even, I don't want it to come close to the bed, at all. I should look like he fresh off a goddamn plane. I should.
Fresh off the garden stage. That's my brother right here from day one. We used to wake up and, pause, but like that's how. Back in the days when he was like 10 and I was a little bit older, his older brother, we used to fight over the Frosted Flakes. You know what I'm saying? Before pause was invented. You know what I'm saying? But it's my brother for real. We used to actually wrestle off of the Frosted Flakes because he used to always get up early with me. And now he's one of the richest stars.
P. Diddy, or Daddy, or Puff Daddy, or Diddy, well, whatever his name is today, his LA area home has now been raided by the feds. In fact, multiple of his homes were raided by the feds. TMZ grabbed footage of the homes being raided. According to Homeland Security Investigations, earlier today, Homeland Security Investigations New York executed law enforcement actions as part of an ongoing investigation with assistance from HSI Los Angeles, HSI Miami, and local law enforcement partners. Apparently, the case is being handled out of the Southern District of New York, and it is tied to sex trafficking allegations which have been levied against Diddy in recent months from a variety of plaintiffs. Now, again, none of this is particularly shocking. There are people who have been talking about this for years. Katt Williams, the comedian, was recently, back in January, talking about how Diddy was going to go down very, very soon based on all of the allegations of sex trafficking and sexual impropriety going on regarding Diddy. And, some of this, obviously, is just celebrity culture. Unfortunately, there are a lot of mainstream Hollywood celebrities who are engaged in sexual evils.
Comedian Katt Williams has never been afraid to speak uncomfortable truths. Long before Diddy's arrest and the shocking freak-off allegations made headlines, Williams was already dropping hints about Hollywood's hidden scandals waiting to be exposed. Now, with Diddy's latest legal drama unfolding, it seems Katt's eerie warnings may have been spot on. Diddy's world has been flipped upside down in recent weeks. Homeland Security raided 3 of his homes in Miami and Los Angeles, and just last week, he was arrested for his notorious freak-off parties. To make matters worse, it's been reported that Diddy fled to a private island, leaving his kids behind to face the police. If you missed the chaos, here's a quick rundown. On Monday, March 25th, Homeland Security agents raided 3 of Diddy's properties as part of an ongoing investigation. According to a spokesperson from Homeland Security Investigations, HSI, the raids involved officials from New York, Los Angeles, Miami, and local law enforcement. In one of the videos from the scene, Diddy's sons, Justin and Christian, were seen being handcuffed, which is standard procedure during raids of this magnitude.
They're gonna probably be arresting me just because we want to have a good time.
Multiple safes broken into, drawers ripped open, closets ransacked, boxes of gun ammo and Grammy Awards. New images from TMZ show inside Diddy's ransacked Beverly Hills mansion during the coast-to-coast raids where no arrests were made.
People in the home are traditionally detained during raids, so they don't flee and so they don't destroy evidence.
The rapper's attorney calls it a witch hunt with an excessive show of force and hostility that led to a premature rush to judgment, adding Diddy will continue to fight every single day to clear his name.
They don't execute these types of search warrants until they believe they have an ironclad case.
So, where's the 54-year-old now? Unclear, but his jet that traveled to Antigua from LA on Monday just landed in Miami today. That's where Diddy was last seen, reportedly bound for a Caribbean spring vacation with his 2 daughters. Also with him, an associate, Brendan Paul, who was arrested for alleged drug possession.
Now to Sean Diddy Combs' investigation. New surveillance video shows Combs being taken into custody in a Manhattan hotel last week. Our senior investigative correspondent, Aaron Katursky, is at the scene of his arrest. Good morning, Aaron.
Good morning to you, Robin. This is the hotel where Sean Combs was arrested a week ago. You can now see how that arrest went down. This morning, watch how federal agents took Sean Diddy Combs into custody. He's seen in this video entering the Park Hyatt Hotel in Midtown Manhattan with others when agents from Homeland Security Investigations approach and separate him. They place Combs under arrest and lead him out the front door in handcuffs. His lawyer said Combs had come to New York 2 weeks earlier with the intention of turning himself in. He did not expect the agents to be waiting at his hotel last Monday night.
Why doesn't the government want him to turn himself in? Because then they can't ask for detention. So they go and they arrest him. They arrest a guy who came to New York to turn himself in. 1, 2, 3.
That sort of stuff has been common in Hollywood going on a century at this point. So, again, not a giant shock. The sex trafficking allegations, the extent of the sex trafficking, that's kind of shocking. Obviously, this also has to do with rap culture. Now, as a former #1 rapper myself, I can safely say rap culture itself, again, having nothing to do with color, but a culture that glorifies the treatment of other human beings as pieces of flesh to allow you to copulate or to perform your sexual pleasures upon. That is the vision, unfortunately, that rap culture pervades. That has some real-world consequences for the most famous people who engage in it. So fame, money, celebrity, a permissive sexual lifestyle that encourages this sort of treatment of people. It's not a shock when that ends in criminal allegations with regard to sex. Here's Katt Williams talking about this in January.
I came in this business saying I was going to expose. When I talked about Michael Jackson, when I talked about R. Kelly, they canceled me for these things because why would you talk about another black dude?
A day earlier, Combs seen out and about in New York with his family, seemingly in good spirits. Combs has pleaded not guilty to racketeering, conspiracy, sex trafficking, and prostitution charges. At the center of the case, this 2016 video obtained by CNN that depicts Combs attacking his then-girlfriend, the singer Cassie, and then dragging her back toward a hotel room. Federal prosecutors said the video is powerful evidence of how dangerous the hip-hop mogul could be to women, part of why 2 different federal judges denied him bail.
This has to be a 100% culture shock. I can't imagine living a lifestyle of the incredibly rich and famous and then going into this very dark, impersonal, cold, austere facility.
Combs, who lived in this $50 million Miami mansion, is now in an isolated unit of a federal jail in Brooklyn known for miserable conditions.
The special housing unit is a 24-hour lockdown unit, which means that any movement within that unit is controlled and coordinated.
These actions are reportedly linked to recent trafficking allegations against Diddy, which first surfaced after Cassie filed a lawsuit in November 2023. Cassie accused Diddy of a decade of abuse, manipulation, and control. Her lawsuit detailed disturbing claims that Diddy would force her into sexual situations with other men for his own pleasure, often drugging her to make her comply. She also alleged that he was physically abusive, blew up Kid Cudi's car when he found out they were talking, and made her purchase prescription medications and carry his firearm. Diddy quickly settled the lawsuit with Cassie for an undisclosed amount, but that only fueled speculation that her allegations might be true. Cassie's lawsuit opened the floodgates, with more alleged victims stepping forward. 4 additional lawsuits have since been filed, including one from Diddy's former producer, Lil Rod, who worked on Diddy's Love album. Lil Rod's lawsuit accused Diddy of trafficking, RICO offenses, and more disturbing actions. Notably, Lil Rod's case named several other high-profile individuals who allegedly worked alongside Diddy, including Christina Coram, Diddy's chief of staff, Sir Lucian George, Universal Music Group CEO, and Ethiopia Habtemariam, former Motown Records CEO. Lil Rod also claimed Diddy bragged about using his connections to people like T.D. Jakes to help restore his reputation amid the legal storm. Katt Williams has long suggested that Diddy isn't acting alone, and he believes Diddy has powerful friends involved in these activities. Katt posted an old clip on his Instagram story from the Nickelodeon show All That, where Diddy makes a questionable joke involving kids and a toy helicopter, adding fuel to the unsettling claims surrounding him.
And he's still sound asleep. What are we gonna do? I don't know. You know, in situations like this, I always ask myself, what would P. Diddy do? Oh, what would P. Diddy do? No, I don't know. Hey, let's ask him. Oh, okay. P. Diddy?
What's up?
We can't wake up Shane.
You try symbols?
Yep.
What about sour milk?
Didn't work.
Tell you what. Take this toy helicopter. Put it down his pants.
All right, we'll do it. We'll do. Come on, put it in. Okay. Nothing. Didn't work. He's still asleep.
Try this.
Shall I? By all means.
What's happening, Puff? I'll be back to you if JD ain't had enough. Yeah? Jermaine Dupri, king of if you ask me, baby. Shit.
That clip is undeniably disturbing, and it's unsettling enough that Diddy read the script and agreed to perform it. But considering Diddy's alleged history with young boys like Justin Bieber and Usher, perhaps it shouldn't be so surprising. Even more troubling is the fact that someone at Nickelodeon wrote and approved that script. That individual was allegedly Dan Schneider. If you've been keeping up with the news, Schneider and other Nickelodeon executives have recently been exposed for allegedly taking advantage of child stars working on the network. This revelation came after the release of Quiet on Set, The Dark Side of Kids TV, an investigation discovery docuseries that sheds light on abuse and mistreatment behind the scenes of some of Nickelodeon's most popular shows. In his post, Katt Williams seemed to suggest that Dan Schneider may have been one of Diddy's accomplices in these dark, behind-the-scenes activities within the industry.
Sean Diddy Combs has been charged in federal court in New York City, and an indictment into the charges music mogul's facing was just unsealed in Lower Manhattan.
The indictment alleges that between 2008 and now, Combs abused, threatened, and coerced his victims. It even alleges he led a racketeering conspiracy that engaged in sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice, among other crimes.
Damian Williams, U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York, is speaking right now.
And let's head to the federal courthouse in Lower Manhattan and hear more about the charges in this case.
Arson, bribery, and the obstruction of justice. Let me say a little bit more about the charges. The indictment alleges that Combs abused and exploited women and other people for years, and in a variety of ways. As alleged, Combs used force, threats of force, and coercion to cause victims to engage in extended sexual performances with male commercial.
A family member who I want you to hire them as an intern. Yeah. And I have never talked about this publicly. And the internship stopped abruptly, like 3 or 4 months into it. Yeah. And I spoke to my family member, like, well, what happened? And they wouldn't say. Yeah. Years later, they finally came out, and this is a male. Puff had said, come home, stay the night with me, or the internship is over. And absolutely not. And the internship ended. But from there, I was like, oh.
Oh, yeah. You know, we all have stories. Seriously, we all have stories. Mine is horrific, and only 5 people know it. And I probably will never tell it. But since then, I've been like, yep. And I also am very intimately aware that you tell your truth and you become victimized over and over and over and over and over and over. And mind you, I then interviewed him many times. I have a lot of stories, y'all. I've been in Hollywood for 25 years, maybe longer, 30. I got a lot of stories. Unfortunately, maybe I'll write a book one day. But it just is so traumatizing that women just want to live every day and feel safe. And when we revisit and revisit, we live in a state of victimhood. And nobody wants to live there. So for those of you like, why aren't you saying something then? Because we just want to live. We want to be happy. And we really want to forget the trauma.
Who gonna turn down $50 million? Now, I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times. Just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right, because P. Diddy be wanting to party. And you gotta tell him no.
Okay, obviously he was correct about that. And again, allegations have been swirling around Diddy for legitimately years. Usher talks about the fact that he lived with Diddy for a year when he was 13 and he saw some stuff.
Puffy's place was like just filled with chicks and orgying like nonstop, right?
No, not really. I mean, but hey, it was curious. I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you seeing?
I went there to see the lifestyle,
right?
And I saw it, and it was, but I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at. It was pretty wild.
So nobody tried to, some woman didn't come along.
I didn't say that.
Okay.
I didn't say that. What I did say is that there were very curious things taking place, and I didn't necessarily understand.
Biggie Smalls was there.
Biggie Smalls was there. Lil' Kim, Craig Mack.
All these people are hanging around.
Yeah, man. Faith Evans, Jodeci, Mary J. Blige. They didn't know nothing about this.
Oh.
I was having a good time. You know what I mean?
What a life.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
14 years old. You're a dad now. Would you ever send your kid to Puffy camp?
Hell no.
In an open conversation with Vlad TV, Katt Williams recounted a disturbing experience that left him feeling uneasy during a party at Diddy's lavish mansion. Expecting a typical night of socializing with fellow celebrities, Williams was caught off guard when he noticed something odd. There were no women at the event, only men. Feeling increasingly uncomfortable, Williams decided to leave. However, Diddy persistently followed him around, making suggestive remarks and even offering him a suspicious drink. Sensing that something was off, Williams refused the drink and made it clear that he wasn't interested in Diddy's advances. In his own words, Williams didn't mince words, saying, "I am not gay, and I am not going to sleep with you," making his stance clear regardless of Diddy's wealth, power, or fame. This rejection appeared to catch Diddy off guard, who allegedly tried to intimidate Williams by threatening to sabotage his career. But Williams wasn't fazed. He stood his ground, asserting that he had nothing to fear. Eventually, Williams managed to leave the unsettling situation behind. His decision to speak out about the experience was driven by a desire to expose the darker side of the entertainment industry and warn aspiring artists to be cautious about whom they trust.
Okay, so, again, Usher saying that way back when on Howard Stern's show. According to Forbes, there are a bunch of allegations against P. Diddy. Apparently, he has not been formally charged or accused, by federal prosecutors of a crime at this point, although obviously that is coming. The rapper has faced a string of lawsuits, starting when he was sued on November 16th of last year by Cassandra Ventura, a singer and dancer, who alleged that Combs raped her in 2018 and subjected her to a years-long abusive relationship that included punching, kicking, and stomping on her and asserting complete control over her personal and professional life. That case was then settled later that month for an undisclosed amount. And then later that same month, another woman named Joy Dickerson Neal alleged in a lawsuit that P. Diddy drugged her, sexually assaulted her, and secretly recorded the assault when she was a college student in 1991. And then separately that same month, an anonymous plaintiff accused him and singer-songwriter Aaron Hall of raping her and a friend in 1990 or 1991 after meeting at an MCA Records event in New York. And then he was hit with another sexual assault suit in December, accusing him of drugging and participating in a gang rape of an unnamed accuser in 2003 when the accuser was 17 years old.
As more information continues to come out regarding the upcoming case on Sean Diddy Combs, several old interviews and clips have started to resurface, where Diddy and his now infamous freak-off parties are mentioned. The indictment, which was made public last week, detailed events that contributed to the racketeering conspiracy and sex trafficking accusations Diddy was charged with. The indictment will also explain that these parties could last several days and sometimes would end in victims receiving IV fluids to recover. Reports have also claimed the parties allegedly involved Diddy distributing a variety of controlled substances to victims, as well as keeping video footage as potential blackmail. Now, back in January, during his interview with Shannon Sharpe on Club Shay Shay, Katt Williams predicted all lies will be exposed in 2024. And many are pointing to the latest developments on Diddy's indictment as another example of the comedian predicting things that were soon to come.
So Combs obviously is denying all of this, but presumably, given the fact that everyone is alleging that there were tapes taken of this stuff, I would assume that that is one of the reasons why you are now having federal raids on all of P. Diddy's homes. His former assistant here claims he lived with Combs from September 2022 through November 2023, according to Variety, and was repeatedly a victim of sexual harassment from Combs directly and subjected to unwanted advances by associates of Diddy at his direction. In the suit, Jones said that he resided with Combs at several of his residences in New York, LA, Florida, and a rented yacht in the U.S. Virgin Islands. During his time with Combs, Jones said he recorded hours of audio and video footage of him and his staff engaging in seriously illegal activity. He says that he was subject to, quote, constant unsolicited and unauthorized groping and touching of his nether regions and was forced to work in Combs' bathroom as the mogul showered nude. He said that he raised the issues with another one of the assistants to P. Diddy, who responded, you know, Sean will be Sean, and that was his way of showing that he likes you, which is, okay. Among the claims in the suit, Jones says that he believes Combs drugged him February 2nd, 2023, and woke up naked in a bed with Combs and two sex workers. He alleges that Diddy was grooming him for sex and encouraged him to recruit prostitutes by asking him to wear a bad boy baseball cap at a Miami establishment to signal to any sex worker he approached that Combs was trying to solicit them. Wow.
No, I'm not all right, Mike. 3 days of this shit got my nerves all rattled. My ass still hurts.
Interestingly enough, this isn't the first time Katt has mentioned Wow Hollywood parties. In his debut stand-up special, The Pimp Chronicles, he would mention celebrity parties and what could happen if you accidentally walk in to the wrong room.
Niggas in Hollywood just do the drugs right in front of you and act like ain't shit happened. You in the middle of a goddamn meeting. Yeah, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna do the movie with you, and then we're gonna... Motherfuckers be gay in Hollywood, you never fucking expected. They be having these big-ass mansion parties, and the mansion party, the whole mansion is a party, and then it's a separate party in the little rooms. Nigga, come here, come here. Is that two niggas kissing?
Despite Diddy pleading not guilty to all charges, it appears that Katt knew about the infamous Hollywood parties long before they came to light and has been warning us about them all along.
The school dance star also highlighted the last night singer's rude behavior towards women, saying, "When I see people's wives and stuff, I don't even look at them. I don't want to look at nothing. I don't want to have, because I know how blessed I am. If I look at it, I got it. That's how Diddy be feeling," Williams added. As the resurfaced interview went viral, netizens flooded social media platforms claiming that Williams tried to warn about Diddy. One user wrote on X, formerly Twitter, "The only celebrity we should be taking seriously is Katt Williams. He's honest and not afraid of the truth." Another wrote, "The Oracle. In ancient times, the court jester was the only one allowed to mock the king as he brought reality with humor. A Katt Williams is that court jester. One more said, "Feds looking for Diddy." Ever since Katt Williams said this, 2024 never been the same. Recently, Usher's high-profile Super Bowl performance and Las Vegas residency have fueled speculation that a certain lawsuit might be targeting him. Meanwhile, Meek Mill, upon catching wind of the swirling rumors online, quickly logged on to address the situation, a move some called a rookie mistake. In his defense, Meek specifically wrote, "I'm from Philly, I don't do coke or freaky molly. Nobody would even offer me coke because I'm that serious. No man or whatever would ever approach me about gay activity without the whole place getting flipped. Woke up seeing this on every blog like they know I'm coming. Lowell." Despite Meek's firm denial, rumors have persisted, with some pointing to various instances suggesting he might be on the down low, particularly in connection with Diddy. In the end, Katt Williams' warnings about Diddy's dark side are looking less like wild accusations and more like revelations that many chose to ignore. That's it for today. See you in the next video. Until then, goodbye.